Movie review for The Theory of Everything. Now, if you've been watching some of my recent reviews, it'll probably sound like I'm loving every movie that I watch. Well, since we just had the Golden Globes, I watched a lot of the nominated films and the performances and directors and things that were nominated, so I could see what all the hype is about. This film has a lot of hype, as well it should. I think, honestly, this was my favorite film of 2014. It's the amazing true story of physicist Stephen Hawking and his wife Jane. It's based on Jane's book, and while I was doing some research on the film, I thought it was extremely amazing that it took the screenwriter 3 years to convince Stephen Hawking's wife to let her adapt this film for the big screen. And thank goodness she did, because this is an amazing story of the human spirit, of love, of never giving up through sickness and health. And it may all sound like a cliche, but it's true. One of the things that the character Stephen Hawking says during a press conference is that there should be no boundary between human endeavor. And that's basically what this whole film is about. Eddie Redmayne and Felicity Jones, I've got chills right now. These two seem like they were born to play these parts. And yes, yesterday, Eddie Redmayne won the Golden Globe. He definitely should have. It was a tight, tough race, but I'm telling you, this actor is amazing. Also, the actress Felicity Jones that plays his wife, amazing. The film was really based on their performances. It's a love story. It's a true story. Like I said, about the physicist Stephen Hawking, who at this point we all know was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. And it's very timely with all the ALS challenge and all that stuff that was going on this year. They're also nominated for SAG Awards, so that's exciting. And as a Screen Actors Guild member, I get these films sent to me, so I'm so spoiled, and I get a chance to vote on who I want. I would definitely vote for Eddie Redmayne. Eddie Redmayne plays Stephen Hawking with such amazing humor and charm and sensitivity, but he's also a human being. And I thought some of the most touching moments of the film were when he's just struggling to do the everyday little things, to pick up a pen, to pick up his coffee cup, to try to pour a beer. This actor was just incredible. I did not feel at once that I was watching an actor. I felt like I was watching a human being. And that's great because they didn't have to rely on makeup or prosthetics or costume or anything. He was just amazing. And I think Stephen Hawking is amazing. When he got diagnosed in college that he had 2 years to live. Well, he's 72 today, so that says something about the human spirit. And I knew about Stephen Hawking, but after seeing all of the things that he worked out, and it was great when he first comes in to start his graduate thesis, and his professor asks him, what's your subject going to be? And he says he doesn't know. Have you given it any thought? And he comes back, and the theory that he wants to discuss, the thing he wants to prove, is time. And that was the one thing that he had just learned that he didn't have. So I thought that was really, really amazing. I also liked how it touched on the struggles that a physicist has being an atheist versus having a faith or believing in God. And that is definitely a storyline that goes through there. Stephen Hawking says it's, you can't really be a physicist and talk about science and where the world began and the Big Bang Theory and that kind of stuff and believe in God. But I think somewhere along the way, Stephen Hawking was able to marry those two ideas, and he did find this faith and this power of something else, which was pretty amazing. Yes, it will have you going from laughter to tears in about 10 seconds, and it'll have you going from tears to laughter in 10 seconds, which if you guys pay attention to my movie reviews, or if you've ever watched them, you know that laughter through tears is one of my favorite human emotions. And for me, the things that make me most emotional, and I think that is so important and that we just take for granted sometimes when we're watching a film, is the soundtrack. This soundtrack is beautiful. It's stunning. A lot of the parts of the movie that are so touching there's no dialogue going on, and you're watching a scene, or you're watching the character, like I said, just try to pick up a pencil or just try to take a sip of coffee. One of the things that brings out emotions is the score of a film. And Jóhann Jóhannsson was the composer. And it's awesome because last night he won the Golden Globe. And that's absolutely fantastic. And he's represented by one of my friends. These guys all have managers too. And my friend Ray Costa of Costa Communications is his manager. And I saw pictures of Ray on the red carpet last night at Facebook, and I was so excited. So that's really cool when you kind of sort of name drop and know someone who kind of sort of is a friend of yours. So that's pretty awesome. But the soundtrack is just amazing. And it brings out those tears, and it brings out that raw emotion. It's fantastic. I loved this movie. Go see it. I don't want to spoil it, but he goes on to live this amazing life, and this woman just loves him to death, and it talks about sticking through it, and it's absolutely fantastic. I would give this movie 10 out of 10 popcorns. I would give it 10 out of 10 belly laughs, and I would give it 10 out of 10 tears. The Theory of Everything. Definitely check it out.